When I was 10 years old, my grandma moved in with us not long after my granddad passed away. I guess she must have been lonely in their big house, filled with memories and grief. Despite some initial protests from my mom, my parents welcomed her into our home. I was thrilled. There were no complaints from me. Grandma was a lively, fun presence in my life, always quick with a smile and a pocket full of boiled sweets she'd secretly slip to me. She was my biggest defender whenever I got into trouble. But what I loved most were her stories. Grandma had endless stories to share. Tales from her childhood during World War II, mischievous adventures with her friends on the South Coast, and more. But it was her scary stories that I found most fascinating. She told me she dabbled in the occult as a teenager, playing with Ouija boards, tarot cards, and fortune-telling. Most of her stories I could laugh off, but a few really spooked me. Being only 10, I was easily frightened, and Grandma had a way of bringing these stories to life that sent chills down my spine. She'd wait until nightfall, turn off the lights in my room, and shuffle close to me. So close I could see the wrinkles on her face and smell the sweet scent of boiled sweets on her breath. Her deep blue eyes would stare straight into mine as she began her tales. Some of them must have given me nightmares, but there's one story in particular that stuck with me, even years later. The story about the shower and Mr. Longfingers. One night after I asked Grandma why she loved taking long baths, she explained that for someone like her, who was sensitive to certain things, baths were safe, but showers were risky, especially if you closed your eyes for more than 10 seconds. She compared it to a playground game where someone sneaks up on you when your back is turned. That's what it was like with Mr. Longfingers in the shower. I remember feeling a cold tickle of fear as I asked who Mr. Longfingers was. Grandma lowered her voice, telling me no one knew for sure. Some said he was a creature attracted to the heat and steam. Others believed he was a demon slipping into our world through the dense steam clouds. But no one who had actually seen Mr. Longfingers could ever tell the tale. She warned me that if I ever closed my eyes for too long in the shower, I might hear a soft tap, tap, tap on the glass, his fingers drumming on the shower door. And if I ever heard that, I should never, under any circumstances, open my eyes. That night, I barely slept. Every time I closed my eyes, I imagined a face pressed against my bedroom window, watching me. When I did fall asleep, I had nightmares, horrible dreams of disembodied eyes and long fingers reaching for me in the dark. The real trouble started when I was awake. Grandma's story got into my head, especially in the shower. I'd never thought twice about closing my eyes while rinsing out shampoo, but suddenly, I couldn't do it without hearing her words echo in my mind. 5 seconds was okay, 10 was pushing it, but any longer, and I felt a strange pressure, a sense of something almost watching me. I'd scrub the shampoo out as fast as I could, sometimes opening my eyes before I was done, stinging my eyes with the suds. But no matter what, I'd always check the shower door through the steam, just to make sure I was still alone. It wasn't long before my mom noticed something was wrong. She heard me crying out in my sleep and came to comfort me. When I told her about Grandma's story and Mr. Longfingers, she got this angry look on her face. Not at me, but at Grandma. That night, I overheard my mom telling my dad that he needed to have a word with Grandma about scaring me with her stories. The next night, Grandma came to visit me in my room. This time, there were no stories. She just sat on the edge of my bed, looking sad. She told me that the stories she shared were meant to protect me, to toughen me up. But maybe she had gone too far this time. She promised to make sure I was safe, even saying she would scare Mr. Longfingers away herself. I believed her. She was my grandma, after all. But about a week later, I woke up early in the morning to a heavy thumping sound. The house was quiet except for the sound of running water from the shower. A feeling of dread washed over me as I ran down the hallway to the bathroom, shouting for Grandma. The door was closed but not locked. When I opened it, I was hit by a wall of steam and the sight of Grandma lying on the shower floor, the water beating down on her lifeless body. One hand was curled against her chest and the other trailed against the glass, leaving fresh finger marks through the steam. My dad said it was a heart attack, that she died quickly and without pain. But even as a 10-year-old, I knew better. And now as an adult, I still know better. My wife and kids don't understand why I refuse to take showers, insisting we all take baths instead. They think I'm still traumatized from finding Grandma's body, and maybe that's part of it, but they don't know the full story, and no one would believe me if I told them. The truth is, when I went back into the bathroom after the paramedics had taken Grandma away, I checked the shower door, and the finger marks weren't just on the inside, they were on the outside too. That's why I haven't taken a shower since I was 10 years old, and why I never will again. Leave a like and subscribe if you would like to watch more short horror stories.